shows up. And it did. Okay. The thumbnail is fitting.
Okay.
If you check the Discord.
Uh, Let me check. Yeah, I
Okay.
see. Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Yeah, so let's just jump into this. Um, the first thing I should usually ask, have you been diagnosed with or do you suspect you have any mental conditions? Are you in a different mood than usual, or is there anything else a typist should know about your current state?
Uh, I've been diagnosed with anxiety. Um, my mental state is pretty good right now. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you look for in friendships? What do you typically talk about or do with your friends?
Hmm. Honestly, I'm very much like the loner type. I don't really hang out with people often. Um, Let me see. In friendships, I don't know. I don't think I look for anything in particular. I just kind of let it happen. Um,
Okay.
there's nothing. I don't have any specifics on what makes a friendship like up to my standards or anything.
Okay. One moment.
Yeah, I'm like the hermit type. I don't really go out a lot. I just kind
Yeah,
of stay to myself most of the time. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Um, do you work or study? If so, where do you work or what do you study?
Um, right now I work for DoorDash doing food delivery. Um, I don't formally study anything except for socionics, but that's just a hobby. But yeah, I'm not in college or anything. I just work.
Okay.
Mhm.
What are your main hobbies or interests? What do you like about them?
So definitely personality type. That's pretty much like the main thing right now. Um, just been obsessed with like socionics and formerly MBTI for like years now. Um, for most of my life, it's been music. I've been heavily into music. Um, I I produce songs and stuff like that. Um, and like over time, it's been it's been phases. At one point, I was into computers. Um, at another point, I was into graphic design. Um, but right now, it's just music and socionomics pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
That
really have a lot of hobbies.
that profile of present and past interest sounds it has quite a bit of overlap with mine, which is interesting.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you said why do I like it? I
Oh yeah,
didn't.
I also had that part.
Yeah. Um. Well, socionics. I'm very into personality type because um I think it's just interesting to see the nuances of personality. Um, I've always been a person that studied people. I've always been like a people studier, like even before I learned about any of this. So just to have like a logical system that clarifies things that I've seen in people prior, is really interesting. Um, yeah. Um, and as far as music, what I like about music is it's like um, I like the expression. I like I like when I listen to a song, I get immersed in my own like mental landscape. Like it takes me to like a visual internal landscape that I get lost in. So it's a kind of like a escape from reality in a way. And
Yeah.
um, I love how artists express themselves. I like artists that are against the grain and like unique and stuff like that. So um, yeah, that's why I'm into music. And even me making my own music, I just like I love that. It's my preferred way to express my emotions, just through my music.
Okay. Do you have any significant other, or have you had one? If so, compare yourself with them. How are you different?
Okay, so yeah, I have a girlfriend, soon to be fiance. Um, she could I say what type I think she is?
Sure.
I don't know if I should say that or not. But I believe she's SEI. Um, she is different from me. She's very down to earth. She's very much into materialism, materialistic things. Um, she is she's more social than I am. She's not a social person, but she's more social than I am. Um, she's very much in the moment. Like we always say that she's the one that's in the moment. I'm the one that's always thinking of the future. Um, she she's not interested in logical systems like if you try to explain something like socionics, something abstract like that, she'll lose interest really quickly. Um, and what else? She's more she's we're both I would say we're both emotional, but she's more. It's easier for her to express her emotions than me. Me, it's more internal. Um, I could write my emotions out more than speak it out. But
Hmm.
for her, she can vent easily. Like, it's not a problem for her. For me, it's not easy for me to vent. It's more like it stews up inside. Um, what else? Um, yeah, that's pretty much the main stuff, main differences.
Okay. Yeah, that was helpful. In general, in choosing romantic partners, what's a deal breaker for you, but not for most other people?
Um, it's hard to say. Um, I just know that my biggest pet peeve is cheating. Like, I just don't like people who cheat. But other than that, I don't know if I have like standards for partners. Um, that would be like a deal breaker. I don't I don't really think about that. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's more like a natural like just flow. Like I just let it flow. Yeah. I don't really have that set out like standards. I guess.
Okay. That's
Mm.
fair enough.
it's more about like the chemistry, like
Yeah,
the vibe and the chemistry, just like the dynamic chemistry, I guess. That's what.
yeah.
Yeah,
How easy is it for you to feel relaxed? What do you do to relax?
I would say it's not easy for me to relax, um, because I'm always in my head. Like I can't ever become one with the environment. Like I can't. That that's not easy for me to do. Um, I'm always thinking all the time. I'm known as the person that's I'm always in my head, detached from most things in reality. Um, to try to relax, I'll I watch a lot of YouTube, um, and I read a lot. Uh, drink some wine. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay,
But I can't relax, but I'm very inactive. I'm a very inactive person. I don't
I relate to
do a
that.
lot. You like that too, yeah. Yeah. I'm very inactive. I don't go out often. Um, I don't do anything. People have to kind of drag me out.
That's actually what I was gonna ask next, but you just sort of answered it anyway. So,
Cool. Nice.
okay. What do you think that you're best at? When you receive compliments or praise, what are they generally about?
Um, I'm gonna merge both of those into one because I feel like they're the same thing. Um, I'm very insightful, especially with people. Um, I'm very I'm very forward thinking. Thinking about. I'm always. I have good foresight, basically. Like I always know generally how things are leading, what things are leading to. Um, I'm very understanding of people. I think I already said that. Um, I would say I'm pretty creative. Um, what else? Um, deep thinker. Um, I would consider myself a wise person. I don't rush into things. Um, what else? Yeah, I pretty much said everything.
Okay.
And those same things about that I think are the best. I've heard people tell me that, so it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're making this typing pretty easy.
Okay.
I'll ask a bit more just to confirm, but
Okay.
actually, I'm gonna try and get through this questionnaire to see if my Bayesian type guide is working as well as it should. Because it's not.
Okay.
I have like a thing where now it doesn't show me the results unless I specifically put in a thing to ask for that.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
don't want to bias myself. Anyway, does your sense of morality ever deviate from what's normally accepted as moral? If so, how?
I'm sorry. You said what my sense of morality.
Um, does your sense of morality ever deviate
Mm,
from what is normally accepted as moral? If so,
uh,
how?
mm. I don't know any specific examples, but I just know overall. Um, I my relationship with morality is that I consider myself a naturally moral person, but I don't get morals is not something I get bothered by. Like, so if somebody else is being immoral, it doesn't really bother me. Um, but I consider myself a moral person. But and even then, I don't consciously try to be moral. It's just that I can't help it. Like I can't help but be like I guess a good person, whatever. But um, so for me, if I see somebody doing something considered like immoral, it's more that I wanna I kind of wanna like understand where that came from, like what made them do that action. It's more I'm more like scientific with it than actually caring about the moral itself. But I
I
can't think of any
understand.
like detailed examples. So yeah.
Like, I'm not perfect at applying it in practice, but I try to stick to like things like utilitarianism.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But
How strong are your emotions? I know you sort of went into that, but how strong are your emotions? And when your mood changes, is it for an observable reason or is it seemingly random?
what was the last part when my mood changes?
Is it for an observable reason or is it
Oh, okay.
seemingly random?
Okay. Yeah, I'm known as a pretty emotional person. Um, I I do have mood swings. That's one difference between my girlfriend is that I feel like I have more mood swings than my girlfriend does. Um,
Interesting.
I yeah I consider myself very emotional, but the thing is I don't speak my emotions. Like I don't vent. It's more like you just see it on me. So if I'm in a certain mood, you just see it. Like I can't hide how I feel. People just see it. I don't they don't even have to say anything. I don't have to say anything for people to know what mood I'm in. Um, it's I can't hide my emotions. It's hard for me to do that. Um, and I don't try to either. I just I just let it you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't. I also don't like bothering people with my issues. So that's why I internalize it a lot. But um, plus I don't. I kind of feel like people wouldn't. Most of the time, I always feel like people don't understand wouldn't understand like if I tried to explain. So I just deal with it on my own. Um, now you said when the mood changes, I would say it's I would say more likely than not it's random. More likely. Um, I think a specific event tends to set it off, but hmm, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a. One thing I do is that if there's a certain vibe in the room, I kind of melt into that vibe. So if I'm around people that's like depressed, I'll end up being depressed myself because of the atmosphere. Um, so yeah, but if I'm in a cheery room, like a happy room, I don't I can't say that I would become cheery though. If I'm not in a cheery mood, I can't say that. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Would you consider yourself, in general, doubtful and indecisive? Or
Yeah,
do you, okay.
yeah, definitely. Like that's why, like I said, I've been studying sociology for years, and I still don't. I still doubt my own type. But
Okay. By the way,
mainly, yeah.
go on.
No, I was saying mainly with logical understanding. I doubt myself. Like I go like back and forth logically in my head, or um, I I kind of look for clarification else. Not always. No, I clarify things in my head too, but it helps when someone like more logical than me clarifies it for me. But yeah.
Okay. Do you think that other people are overly decisive, or do you think that they're just better at coming to conclusions?
I see it as overall. That's a good question. Um, I think it might depend on on what it's about. Um, because there are times where I feel like the person is just um, they're sometimes I see it as someone. Some people are being ignorant by blocking off. Um, they're being ignorant by blocking off like certain dynamics that they're not paying attention to. That's that they're not taking into account. But at certain times, I'll also see as people are just they're just more well informed, or they're more. What was the second one you said? How'd you say it? You said
I don't. I'm trying to remember what I asked.
yeah, because
um.
whatever you said, the whatever the second option was, I see that too. Um, that
Oh yeah, it
they're
was.
just more. Yeah,
Yeah, it was basically just, or do you consider others to be better at coming to conclusions than you?
yeah, like yeah, I see that too.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I guess it depends.
Okay. Um. By the way, I am like almost completely sure that I know what your type is. And
Okay.
honestly, at this point, the only reason I'm continuing is because I want to test out this program. But if you want me to get straight to the point, then that's okay too.
No, test out your program. I
Okay,
want to
thank
hear
you.
your answers.
I appreciate it very much. Um,
No problem.
does anything affect your mood more than it would for most people?
Anything specifically? Um, like my mood is affected more than most people, definitely. But what does? I don't know. Um, let me see. So, one thing that affects my mood is like when things aren't going the way I would like them to go. Um, because like my whole life I've been somebody that's always I've always had like this dream in my head like of where I want to end up, or what I want to have my life be like. So um, if I if I'm not if I don't see it working out, then I get depressed about that. That gets me upset. Um, what else?
Okay.
Mm, oh yeah, and like if I'm watching like I think like TV shows and movies and music, they affect my mood too. Like if I'm watching something and if I watch something like inspirational, I feel inspirational. Or if I watch something depressive, I might feel depressive after I watched it, or stuff like that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
When do you feel the most happy in that piece? I know that's a really vague question, but if anything comes to mind, then
This is gonna sound depressive, but I'm rarely ever at peace. Like I'm always dissatisfied most of the time. But I
I get that.
happy, yeah, yeah. Happy and at peace. I think happy and at peace when I see when I have a clear direction in life. Like I know, like I'm on the right track. Like I'm on the right, you know, like I know I'm on the right path. Or
Okay,
yeah, or I achieved something that I always wanted to achieve. Yeah.
okay. The whole world has united under a single world government. It is ruled autocratically. That ruler is you. What's your plan?
You said the world or the country?
The world.
The world. Okay. The whole world. Okay. Um, I would. I believe I would have. If it's under my control, number one, what I'm doing. No, no. I was gonna say something silly. I was gonna say like I always wanted, instead of having real wars, I just want people to play Call of Duty. Like no, no real guns. Like just play Call of Duty. Whoever wins. But I feel like there's
I'm
probably
sure everyone would go along with that.
I feel like there's definitely would be cons to doing that that I'm not taking into account. But but I think with the whole world, I feel like people need to have more discussions, but but um but uh, just trying to think of how to word it. Um, like I feel like most conflicts between different cultures and different countries and stuff, it's largely due to misunderstanding. So I would want people to I would want people to hash out those understandings with each other, but like get to the root of what's causing these misunderstandings. Um, it sounds very vague, but what else? I know in the United States, I would want the wage gap to be shrunken by a lot. Because I feel like that's a problem here. Um, I would take steps to alleviate the racial issues in America, um, and in the world. Um, I would have art be appreciated more. Uh, what else? I think I can't really think of anything else
Okay.
at the moment. Yeah. Oh,
That,
everyone. I would. Oh, sorry. The countries that don't allow people to be have their own like certain religions, I would kill that. Like, I would allow anybody to practice whatever religion anywhere.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of sports do you play, if any, and what are your achievements in sports if you have any?
What sports? I'm just joking. No, I've never been into sports. The closest thing was probably been like Halo. That's like a e-sport that I used to be really interested in. But no, I never was good at sports. I like to watch football sometimes. Um, um, when it comes to like NBA and NFL, like I watch the finals, but I don't watch the whole season or anything. I'm not that interested in it. But me personally, I've never been a very sports person. I mean, when I was young, I was into the skateboarding thing, but I was never good at it. And I think I liked it more for the image, not more than the actual skateboarding itself. So,
Okay.
um, yeah.
Do you often keep things clean, and is this important to you? How strictly do you organize your possessions and living space, and is this important to you?
Um, I am, I am, hmm, I wouldn't consider myself clean, but I wouldn't consider myself a pig either. Um, I am, for me, it's gonna sound selfish, but I'm more like I don't mind what I do, but if somebody comes to my place and messes it up, then I get more irritated. But
I get that.
yeah, and it's not that's not even logically consistent, but yeah, like I've never put anything in alphabetical order or done anything like that. But I do keep it myself generally clean. But I would say I'm generally clean, but I don't take it. You know, I'm not a clean freak. I would say.
Okay.
And is it important? I feel like there's things that's more important, but I also wouldn't want stuff like crazy messy.
Okay. What's interesting, and I have to like point this out at this point, is that
Okay.
literally everyone gives that same answer that they keep things
Oh, really?
generally clean, but aren't
Yeah.
like obsessive about it.
Yeah.
No matter how clean they are, and no matter what their type is, everyone gives that same answer.
Really? That's interesting.
I think everyone
Oh,
considers how like their level of organization to be the right level.
yeah, exactly. And I bet everyone that you've interviewed has different levels of actual like cleanliness.
Yeah,
Like I'm pretty sure that I guarantee you there's a couple clean freaks that answered the same way.
exactly.
And some pigs too, like that. I guarantee that.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for someone to answer something else because I want to like study them because they're the exception.
Yeah, right. Yeah, have you noticed like have you tied any kind information elements to cleanliness? Have you seen any like
Well, um, there are different aspects of it. So
mm,
I think that SI minus is related to keeping things like
mm,
at a comfortable level, and
yeah,
then there's TI plus, which is more related to strictly organizing everything
okay,
or maintaining order.
okay,
And when you get that combination, you basically find out that TIS is the most likely to it to be um like very clean, like very obsessive, getting everything, every last detail right.
that makes
And
sense.
I've interviewed some, and they said the same thing.
And they said the same thing. That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So you said TI plus and PI minus that combination
TI plus and SI minus.
and SI minus. Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, it makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah,
I'm sure there's other elements, but I'm not sure what.
yeah, yeah. For me, like, I always thought cleanliness was had to be. I know it's not directly correlated, but if it was going to be, I always thought TI or SI too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I think there is a large correlation.
yeah.
Have you ever led people? If so, how many and what was the situation?
I'm trying to think of a situation where I ever was like a leader. Um, no, I don't. No, I'm not. I'm rarely ever. I don't think. If I was, I don't remember. Um, yeah, I'm more kind of do my own thing type of person. Um, I'm not a follower. That something about me is I'm never following other people, but I can't consider myself like I'm not really a leader type person either.
Yeah,
I can't think of any situations.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
a few months ago I would have said the same thing, and now here I am.
yeah. You got your own channel and stuff now, so
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
How do you behave in unfamiliar company? I can kind of guess your answer to this.
Unfamiliar company. Yeah, unfamiliar company. I'm just sitting back observing.
Yeah,
I'm not talking that much. I'm just sitting back and observing the dynamics, like just sitting back and watching how the social situation is, studying the people. Yeah, being quiet.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, sounds about right.
Mhm.
Um, what do you think of conspiracy theories? Which do you believe in, if any? Why?
I'm sorry. Repeat the first part. What do I?
What do you think of conspiracy theories?
Oh, conspiracy theories. I'm not really. I'm not really like. I feel like like who I am. You would think that I would be into that, but I'm not really into it. Um, I think I think my mind is naturally wired to be to be a conspiracist. But and I do make up little conspiracies in my head, but I don't take them that serious. Like I yeah, I don't take them that seriously. Um, yeah, I'm not really into it like that. Um, I'm not against it either. It's just that I'm not really that interested in them. Um, I feel like I do have like a running conspiracy, like a couple running conspiracies, but um, in my head. But I like a conspiracy that I have that I have is that I feel like the food industry and the hospital industry is connected. Like 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 they like how they advertise. I feel like they advertise junk food way quicker than healthy food, and that gets money into the hospitals, and it's just like so. That's one conspiracy that I don't have any data to back that up, but that
I
is
would
one
totally
conspiracy.
believe that.
Yeah, I really feel it's a real thing. But I don't. That's the only one I could think of. But generally, I hear conspiracies out, but I don't I don't go against them, but I don't also champion them either. Like I'm kind of neutral on conspiracies.
Yeah, you sort of just don't
Yeah.
engage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
What were you like as a kid? Did any moments or aspects of your personality at the time stand out to you?
As a kid, I was quiet, shy.
Shocking.
Um, right. For real. Quiet, shy, always to myself. Didn't want to hang out with any other kids, even though my mom kept trying to get me to hang out with other kids. I didn't want to. Um, I was just always. I'm the same I am now. Like I was just always in my room, being a hermit. Um, I was I was considered I was the smart kid in my classes. Not I wasn't the smartest kid, but I was like one of the smart kids. So I was known as that. Um, but I think I was also sensitive when I was young. Um, I feel like now I feel like as I get older, I'm becoming less sensitive and becoming like a little bit more logical as I get older. But when I was young, yeah, I was sensitive. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay,
Mhm. You said, is
that
there
sounds
any?
good.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you can go on if you want.
You said,
I was
oh,
basically
but
just.
you said examples, right? I can't. Again, I can't. I'm not good with examples. I can never think of specific
That's alright.
examples. I just know general things. Like I just yeah. So
Okay, so I just pulled up the results and it confirmed what I thought.
okay.
And now you get the added bonus that I can give you a nice fun probability.
Okay. Cool.
Specifically that according to the program I've been using, there's a 99.815% chance that you are at NIT.
NIT, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
some things that I noticed that specifically um, pointed to that is
Hmm.
that, well, for one, you're pretty clearly in the NT club, pretty clearly an introvert. Um, I saw a lot of signs of receptive, adaptive temperaments. Um,
Hmm.
I saw I saw some signs of very low SI coupled with receptive, adaptive temperaments, especially in just the inability to relax, but also the lack of
Hmm.
activity, which I find very relatable, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I'm trying, and that's also sort of evidence of dialectical thinking,
Okay.
because it seems to apply to a mental level as well. And I
Okay.
know I've seen a lot, like even according to a lot of external sources, that the NIT just experiences a general like constant dissatisfaction,
Hmm.
um, which is just due to certain elements in their like in their wiring that just happen to work together that way.
Okay.
Um,
That's interesting.
I'm let me see if I
because for me, I always figured I was likely and dumb, but I could never tell if I was logic or ethics first. Like that's always been my debate with myself is because I always felt like they're both equal for me. But,
That's interesting. Um, I mean, one thing I noticed is you find it difficult to express your emotions verbally,
yeah.
but you have strong emotions nonetheless. Um, and finding it difficult to express them in a like an outward like verbal stream of consciousness way. If anything, that's just low FE plus, which would
Mhm.
be a huge weak point as an NIT. Um, but that doesn't contradict having strong emotions. In fact, it would support it because
Mhm.
um, they have they have inert yet weak ethics, which kind of has the effect of um, emotions that occasionally, if not always, sort of spiral out of control.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Based on my history, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. So I guess I see more evidence of strong logic than strong ethics, even though I can see why you might think that you are ethical, especially with coupled with the sort of insight into people, which I think is can be explained by strong intuition, especially strong NI. Um,
Hmm.
you said that you come off that others think of you as insightful or wise, etc. And that's extremely
Hmm.
common with this type. In fact,
Hmm.
a student of Galenko typed me and put that in the diagnostic because others describe me the same way.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything else in particular you're wondering about? And I'll try and tell you if I find
Um,
the answer.
I would wonder, not like, and one aspect it makes sense because I feel like my interests have always leaned towards NT over NF. Like I've been in the computers. Um, I've always been in the technology, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that was one debate that I always had with myself is why am I so sensitive and emotional, but I also very into like technology and stuff like that. Um,
Something interesting about that is if I had to like say if I had to like describe which domain out of intuition, logic, um, sensation, ethics is best for the NIT overall,
mm,
I would say that the NIT is extremely strong and flexible logic, and you can kind of see that pattern between all of the types.
yeah.
And in the case of the NIT, they often are very good at developing the skills required for like techie interests in programming early on because they have
Mm,
this sort of algorithmic thinking. Um,
mm.
and you might have, and I mean, I don't know your history obviously, but you might have seen that in yourself.
Yeah. I mean, programming. I never got into programming because I felt like that was too complicated for me. But
You might want to
but
research that.
you think so? And another thing that I wonder about being logic is that again I'm very I feel like I don't trust my logic to come to a conclusion. And from what I've seen with other logical types, I feel like they. Hmm. But you said flexible logic, and that makes sense too. Because I do see like I feel like my logic is very flexible. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm
Um,
indecisive though. So
yeah. If anything, that might be on the psychological level as opposed to the intellectual level, which corresponds to type.
yeah.
If I had any recommendation for you, it would be to sort of to sort of shift your self image into into developing a focus on um, logical understanding as opposed to resignation in that domain.
Hmm.
Um, Also, another thing, I think that you probably have an introverted subtype.
Okay. Yeah, I always thought that
Although,
too.
yeah, although I'm not sure which.
Hmm. Okay. Um, do you? I saw in your types. I'm sure everybody asks you this, but in your types, you have like the what do you call those? Like the beta gamma letters next to the type, like the
Yes. Um,
yeah.
I would love to tell you which, like, of the exact ones you are. What I'm
Hmm.
discovering is most questionnaires are not conducive at all to,
Okay.
discovering exact subtype, and I'm trying to fix that.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm not sure how yet.
Okay.
At some point in the future, if you want, I would love to do a follow up where we try and figure that out. But I just need to
Okay.
figure out how to do this first.
Are you in IT as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, looking at you, like just looking at you, I see some of myself in you too. So that's why
Yeah.
it I do see that as well. So that is interesting.
I do relate a lot to some people who aren't the same type, but in this
Yeah,
case, I think it was over things that are related to type, and I was like, there's a lot of eerie similarity here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You knew right away.
Yeah.
Okay, so NIT. So TE. So NIT. So in your system, you you just have T. So that means how do you explain that? Just keeping it at T and not TE or TI or
Oh, well, I consider TI and TE to be almost equally important in the in the NIT.
yeah.
Uh, the thing about about TE and the NIT is they have a lot of understanding of it, but
Hmm.
the sort of from what my understanding is that the obstacle there is that your temperament conflicts with using a TE heavily. Um,
Hmm.
being introverted and being irrational, um,
Hmm.
it's difficult to have that sort of large energy expenditure. So what the NIT often does is they um, they know how to act, they know how to do productive things, but they
Hmm.
aren't really able to do a large number of things. So they spend the little energy they have very wisely.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds like it. Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. And I could see TE being under the TI because I people always come to me for troubleshooting and
Yeah.
I've always been the tech guy. Like people always call me to help them fix stuff with tech. So that makes sense.
Do you
Um, yeah.
do you read or look at XKCD often?
I've heard of it, but no, I never read it.
You should check it out because the guy who does those is the same type. And
Okay,
you might find a lot of it relatable.
okay, yeah, I'll check it. Cool.
Um, I said that because that reminds me of the tech support one. I'll send it to you.
Okay, yeah, send it to me.
Actually, I'll just
Um,
drop it in the chat.
now, NI is positive or minus for NIT?
Which one?
For NIT, is the NI positive or negative?
Oh, it's primarily negative. Um,
Negative. So it's avoiding negative futures, right?
that is a major element of it, but what I like to
Okay.
emphasize is that the main difference is not positive or negative, but process and result.
Okay.
And what that means in this case is the NIT is better at imagining multiple possible futures as opposed to like reducing them into a single vision. Um, they're,
Okay.
they're good at taking a situation and imagining all of the different ways that it might develop, which is part of
Yeah,
why
that
they're
sounds
so
good.
doubtful and, as I said,
Yeah,
indecisive. And that's why I had asked that, just sort of confirming that. Um,
yeah. I relate to that like 100%. Do you? What makes that different from NE? Because I pardon me for sounding like basic, but isn't NE the one that does like the alternate possibility and all
that's sort of the domain of intuition in general, I think. But with an E, it's static. So generally um, it imagines the possibility space across space as opposed to time. So instead of
that?
imagining
Okay.
how something might develop temporally, it can imagine a static concept and sort of like um, it can associate it with different traits and different and other concepts.
Okay.
It
So
can
like
yeah,
linking. Mhm.
go on.
Oh, it's just linking concepts, like linking different concepts together.
That's mostly I think any working with PI or FI.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's basically just developing a static idea of a concept and the traits associated with it.
Okay. Yeah, I relate less to that. But so when you said temporally, that means like playing it out in my head, like playing out different,
Yes.
yeah, like dynamically. Okay.
And you've talked a lot about those kinds of things. Um,
Okay.
whether you, even though I'm not sure how much you realize it. The thing about the leading um, element is that it's the leading function is that it's hard to notice when you are using it,
Yeah.
especially internally, because it's so
Yeah.
natural. It's sort of the default.
True. Um. So um, I want to know about SE positive. Um. Now is SE positive? Because I know one is like one form of SE is more attack, and one the other one is more like defensive. Is that true for like the different SEs, like between like an SLE and like a SEE?
Yeah, so that is true, but what I think is that Golinko's idea of it is actually reversed.
Okay.
Um, I think that SE plus is more proactive, and whereas SE minus is more defensive.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and I actually think I'm developing a sort of experimental energy model for for the 16 elements, and under this, so far, um, the NIT actually receives maximum energy for SE minus. But the thing about that is I think it's applied very indirectly and um, and almost subconsciously. Like they're not exactly like directly attacking other people, but
Mhm.
I think they sort of develop like a space for themselves. I guess the best comparison I have for it is like five in the Enneagram. I think they describe it well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the sort of isolation. I think that might be how it manifests,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um, I haven't fully developed it yet, so I can't really say.
Okay. Because I know me personally, when it comes to force, I'm more like I don't like people controlling me. Like I don't like being controlled by anything, like by other people, and I'm very like stubborn in that regard.
Yeah,
So, but I like I never use force to like I'm not uh I don't I don't use force to like overtake or to attack. It's more for me. I feel like I use it more defensively. Like don't get in my space or don't don't
yeah,
control me. You know that type of way. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I guess that would support what I that would support what I was saying. Um,
Mhm.
like constantly devoting energy only to sort of defending yourself from external force, but you don't like to control others yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And with the, how do you see the FI? Do you call it hidden agenda or do you call it something else?
Um, I am I'm developing names because the problem is I use the 16 elements model and I'd like to separate them
Mm.
more clearly by developing a different name for each one. But
Okay.
obviously that's um difficult and not really on my priority list right now. We
Right.
can go with whatever name you prefer, but
Okay. How do you see FI in yourself?
in myself.
Mhm. Since
I
you're
mean
in
honest
NIT.
yeah. Um I mean I think I like the stability of FI from someone else, but I'm sort of unstable in applying it myself because I tend to like almost forget about other people. And because of that,
Mm.
I thought that I
Yeah.
was NET for a while, but I think
Hmm.
that's because of but I think that can be explained under NIT with
Okay.
um with Pessimum Energy FI plus.
Hmm.
Um, like I don't think that we are like I don't think we were like particularly like rude or mean spirited, but there's just sort of this distance that's accidentally created.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I am too. Like I don't. I'm terrible at keeping up with friends. Like I kind of like create distance from. Like it's hard for me to get close to people. Like I kind of keep a lot of people at a distance. Um,
Yeah,
Me personally. So
that sounds about right then.
yeah, like I'm always. I know with me, I'm always trying to like if I'm in a group, I'm always trying to be different from everybody else. Like I always want to. I don't want to fit in. Like I always want to like just like that's them. I'm me. You know, that's how I am. Like
Yeah,
other people. Yeah.
I'm like I also relate to that, and because of that, I even considered FEN because that's their main thing. But
Yeah.
I think that what happens is most types play like a really like shitty crude version of their supervisor.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so like it's a role that you play, you just don't play it particularly well, and I think that every type does that.
Mhm.
Um, I guess it's not that bad. I just think that there's the possibility of thinking that you were your supervisor due to that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Jack from WSS. He tagged me as IEI.
Really,
As yeah. So I guess the NI is the consistent thing. But
yeah.
and which is funny because I doubt if I'm an NI. You know. But
I
yeah,
see a lot
it's
of an
pretty
eye in
clear.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I I was actually thinking about that, and I was assuming that if he had typed you, he would have typed you as LII because um
Hmm.
although I mean I don't know what his reasoning was.
Um, because I think I mentioned that in music I liked the like expression. Like I liked how artists express themselves in music. Um, and I forgot what else he was saying about it. Um, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I have to watch it
Um
again.
Now that I think about it, I think that's pretty good evidence that if I wasn't like extremely nervous during the interview, he would have typed me as IEI as well
Hmm. Okay.
because I
Yeah.
was like very restrained, and I think he just assumed that meant I led with TI.
Yeah. I remember watching it. He said he was LII, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember watching that. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely got better. Like as far as like being more relaxed in front of the cameras and stuff. So
yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what do you think? What do you think his type is?
I I go back and forth between ILE and SOE because he with his logical conclusions, I feel like he's very huh. The reason why I think sometimes I feel like SOE is because he kind of he doesn't waver much in his logical understanding. The way I don't know if ILEs do as well, but I just feel like he's kind of like stubborn with his logical understanding in a way
Yeah,
sometimes. Um, but I can see ILE as well. What
that's
about you?
interesting. I was thinking actually. So before well, I think that he's either FEN or he's TIS, and I know that those are like very different types. But
Yeah,
basically, what I see is that well, both of those are very likely to come to um, hasty, sometimes seemingly subjective conclusions, and then
yeah,
stubbornly like cling to them. And he
hmm,
also has the central process traits of being seemingly conflict focused and power seeking. He describes this like war between the models, and he sort of tries to aggravate conflict between um the enlightened Model A and the disgusting evil Model G people,
yeah. I think I kind of see that.
and that's
I'm
evident
interested in
in the beta.
F, why FEN. That what do you how do you see FEN possibly? Then?
Well, um, they FENs. The thing about them, in my opinion, what I see is that they're very good at like acting out different roles and um,
Yeah,
coming off as a wide variety of different people.
hmm,
And you kind of have to look a bit deeper to see the FEN traits. But I think I almost feel like he's trying to come off as more of the like ILE intellectual thought leader, whereas
yeah,
sort of like masquerading as an alpha, whereas in reality he's trying to push um ideas that aren't all that new.
yeah. I get that vibe too. That's
Yeah,
yeah. I felt like that too. Yeah,
yeah,
so, yeah. That's why I said I couldn't tell like he could be ILE, but then I see some like some beta kind of in there too. So, yeah,
yeah. I don't think that he's SET, but with the reasoning that you gave, I could sort of consider that. It was mostly just
hmm,
that I thought he was processed, but I don't know if
okay,
you use that in typing.
yeah, yeah. Because like when he talks to other um like other schools, he's he kind of like he sticks to his he doesn't really waver much like when he's debating other people.
Yeah,
Um, and that's what I see with beta SCs are like that.
I
So
agree with that, and I think he does that because he wants to look very sure of himself and very self-confident and powerful. Um,
mhm,
which, if anything, just strikes me as beta in general. So I would
yeah,
definitely agree there.
yeah, definitely. Oh, one more thing. If maybe I feel like with my girlfriend, I gotta if she is alpha SF, that wouldn't really make a lot of. I mean, because we don't really conflict like that. Like we get along pretty well. So I think that would be weird if she's alpha SF and I'm gamma into
Yeah, I was
I
kind
don't
of
know.
wondering if she might be FIS.
Yeah, okay, but she's not. The reason why she's not forceful at all. But
Hmm.
she's very she's very I wouldn't call her a complete pushover, but she I just don't see the force. Like I don't see the value for it, but I know that when she works, the story she telling me, she's a little because she works at a daycare. She seems more forceful at work, but then like around like in general, she seems very go with the flow and stuff like that. But I wouldn't expect the like a
I see.
FIS type to be. But when I first met her, I thought that she was FIS. But over time, I kind of came to the conclusion that she was SEI. But I don't know.
Yeah,
But we
I
get
mean,
along well, so that would be weird if she's Alpha SF and I'm Gamma NT because we shouldn't really get along well.
yeah, I kind
That's
of
for sure.
doubt it. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to convince her to get tight, then
yeah. I might get her a private one because I feel like she's really too nervous to be on camera.
yeah,
But, yeah, I'll let you know.
yeah. I will say that I'm kind of doubting that that she is
Yeah,
SIS because super ego just doesn't usually work out.
yeah, it don't work out. And we've been together for 4 years, and so I don't think it would last that long. I feel,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. I really enjoyed this.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Um, I yeah. I'll let you go now.
Okay, cool. All right, take care, man.